Found a Walmart. Got some supplies, some beverages, and a few other things in that bag. The dinosaur is gonna fuel up Large Marge. Fuel it up. Fuel, 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 fuel. Welcome everyone, Adam TheDailyWoo here. It's my second channel, daily vlog channel. It's The Daily Woo. Heading westward on Interstate 80 through the barren but beautiful landscape of Wyoming. That rock formation up there looks like a chimney. Hold your breath. Hold your breath, we're going through. Well, I just held my breath today. What's the point of doing that when going through a tunnel? Nothing is what I say. You thought that was me singing? No, it was Green Tea. This is not the type of place you'd expect to see a friendly fella from the Antarctic. But it's true. Here at Little America is a penguin who made the trek. The idea was to have a live mascot from the frozen tundra right here at this rest stop / fuel station. In fact, they even gave him a name, Emperor. Sadly, he did not survive the trek. He passed away during transport. But he's still here on property. He's inside, in a case. And there he is, just hanging out behind this piece of glass. Standing 3 feet tall and 120 pounds, he seems to be pretty comfortable in there. And this old postcard of the property shows they've always used the penguin as their logo. In fact, there's one right up there on top of the roof hanging out. But he still lives on in the form of merchandise, even though sometimes overshadowed by, is that a jackalope? Look how cute that little guy was. Now his real name was not Emperor, he's just the type of penguin that he was. He was an emperor penguin. In fact, there were 2 others just like him, owned by the same hotel group, down the same interstate. And they never had real names, only nicknames. They were all emperors. That's confusing. These are the types of ants you don't want to mess with. They pack quite a bit of a punch. If they get on your skin and bite you, leave a small little welt. A reminder to mind your own business. Look at those guys. Oh man. See you later. After staring at those things, I feel like they're crawling all, I know they're not, but I feel like they're oozing all over my skin. I've heard stories that certain species of those creatures can take down cattle. They climb up on a cow, and before you know it, they have completely annihilated the herd. That might just be an urban legend, but I think it might be true. They infestate the structure of the cow, and then game over. Pulled over in Fort Bridger, population 400, but they do have a quaint little motel here that just so happens to have color TV. If you're looking to check in, just ask for Norman. The community's named after a gentleman named Jim who passed away in 1881. Famous mountain man, trader, and scout. Not a traitor like he was stabbing someone in the back, but a trader like he traded goods. I just looked up a little information on Mr. Bridger, and it appears he was the ultimate mountain man. Stories say that he once spent 3 years with an Indian arrow lodged in his back. That's right! Come on! Stick an arrow in me! Look into my eyes! See what's going on in there! When you turn it... From what I can tell, each and every one of those wind turbines is quite operational. Sometimes you see these fields and some of them are not working, but not in this case. All of them are spinning. Some combinations are known not to go together.
And one of those are these two items. Liquor and fireworks. Are you supposed to mix those two things together? Probably not wise. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. There it is. Shaka-gong! Utah. On the side of this hill are three rock formations. The far left is called Castle Rock. Directly in the middle is the cottage. In the extreme right is the Devil's Post Office. How do I know this fact? Because it's stated right here on this rusting out sign. And also in 1847, there was a Pony Express stop right down there as well. There's a helicopter landing. You can faintly see it going on the backside of that sign. And if you look closely next to the railroad tracks, to the right of it, a vehicle has gone off the road and they have traffic completely stopped, blocked off, so the helicopter can land. Emergency vehicles trying to get through. You can see how far backed up traffic is. I have to wonder if this train that is now moving ever so slowly is going to have to stop up near where the wreck is. It's coming to a crawl and probably going to make a complete stop. And it did. They're not even going to attempt to go by the location. And from what I can tell, there seems to be a crowd congregating up the side of the hill and towards the copter. A second helicopter is arriving. The train has started moving again. And you'll notice the original copter is now heading off over the mountain. After about an hour and a half backup, I moved forward just a little bit. They let a few of the vehicles through, but then they stopped us again, and they are moving the car up onto the tow truck, as you can see right there about to the far right of the screen. They're dragging it in by a steel wire, pulling it onto the back of the truck. I can't even imagine how many miles the backup is. That's just only the part that you can see, but it looks as if we're about to move. And with that, back on the road. Just look how beautiful this is through here in the shadow of the canyon. These rock formations are incredible. Making my way into Ogden, should be there in a few minutes. Currently on I-84, still proceeding westbound. Now there's something I've been looking for about a week or so. Picked up a couple items, including this zoom lens, a 55 to 250. This will come in very handy for getting shots way off in the distance. I've been using the 10 to 18 wide angle lens, and sometimes it's very difficult to get things in the distance. I also picked up this polarizing, circular polarizer, 58 millimeter, and that will fit on the front of this to help with rays from the sun. At least I think that's what that's for. Just to do a little test, this is what I've been using for a lens. You can pull it back to a 10 instead of the standard, which is an 18. So if you have it back at its full extension, the wide angle, which would be considered the 10, you can get some pretty good shots that you can't normally get with a cell phone. But when you come all the way into the 18, that's as far as you could go. So if I'm trying to zoom in on the mountain range, or maybe that Shoe Carnival or Pier 1 sign, this is as close as possible as I can get. Now let's put this bad boy on the camera. I had to walk about 20 paces back just to get the standard 55, and now I'm going to zoom in all the way to the 250. Look at that, right on the license plate. And remember what I was saying about the mountains and the Shoe Carnival sign? Bam! Impressive. I have been asked more than a handful of times in recent weeks, and more prominently in the last couple days, if I will be traveling and venturing to a spot where the eclipse will be totally submerging and engulfing the sky.
The path of totality, they call it. And to answer your question, I'm on my way. Vlog over.